So all eyes are on Capitol Hill this morning, where House Republicans are gearing up for their closed-door deposition with Hunter Biden. Hunter and his legal team still have not confirmed if he'll even be there, since he's insisted on a public hearing. But Republicans threatened to hold him in contempt if he's a no-show. Our next guest has been following this case from the very beginning. Fox News contributor and New York Post columnist Miranda Devine. So, Miranda, if you could boil it all down, and it's hard because there's a lot in the laptop, there's a lot of stuff when you talk about Joe Biden, the links to him, what would you nail him on in this hearing, in this deposition?
Well, I would ask him, did you ever commercialize your proximity to your father's power, and how involved was your father? Did he meet your business partners? And of course, we know the answer to that. It should be yes. But, Hunter Biden, like his father, has not always been very ready with the truth.
Mm-hmm. So I guess the big question is, Miranda Devine, is the problem Hunter Biden? Or is it Joe Biden? Is Hunter simply a witness that is being deposed today? Or is he someone that has done something illegal? Well, I know he already broke the law when it comes to his taxes and the gun, but I'm talking about specifically when it comes to the corruption. Did Hunter Biden do something wrong, or did he witness and participate in something that was wrong that his father orchestrated?
Well, Hunter Biden, of course, is the son of the president, and he was also the designated bagman for the president. He was the guy who was travelling around the world picking up the big fat checks. The money was coming into his bank account, his associates' bank account, these tens of millions of dollars that were coming from China, Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, you name it. And so he was a very crucial part of this enterprise. But at the end of the day, the public official who sold out America, the vice president, was Joe Biden. He was the product that they were selling. He was the brand. Without him, there would be no business. And so he's the one who's broken faith with the American people, and he's the one that we should really be caring about. I mean, Hunter Biden is a sad case, a guy who ruined his life with drugs and complete decadence. And as we saw from the indictment, how many millions of dollars he just lavished on himself. So, you have to feel a little sorry for the guy, but the chickens have come home to roost in some ways. A lot of the alleged crimes haven't been charged because the DOJ was protecting him, and I think the only reason this indictment has occurred at all was because of those brave IRS whistleblowers, Gary Shapley and Joseph Ziegler. So,
Miranda, I'm so glad that you talked about the DOJ, because if he decides not to show up and defies the subpoena from Congress, it's going to be up to the DOJ to enforce that. So do you see them doing? I mean, they've done it before when the Democrats requested a Republican to show up and they decided not to show up. So I just wonder, will they do the same thing?
Well, I mean, there's very recent precedent, as you just said. Steve Bannon, he was charged with contempt of Congress for defying a subpoena. Same thing applies here. And I would imagine that since Hunter has various legal problems, that his pricey lawyers will be advising him to just show up behind closed doors and plead the fifth. And so that's what I'm expecting. I think it would be foolish of him just not to show up at all, even though they're quite contemptuous of Congress and its powers. Hunter Biden and his lawyers are. I think they realise that James Comer and Jim Jordan and Jason Smith are quite determined to get to the bottom of this, and they've already uncovered a lot of corruption, and they're like dogs with a bone, and I think the American people should be grateful of that.
Well, whatever happens, I think it's a defining moment for Mayor Garland. I mean, he said he was going to be that nonpartisan federal judge becoming Attorney General. Let's see if he's a man of his word. Miranda Devine, thank you so much.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.